Hello, welcome back to I Create for You. We're still in the Ghosts Among Us book. We're going to be doing haunted hotels, and our first story is called A Haunting with a Smile. John Saldana was busy at the front desk of the Emily Morgan Hotel in San Antonio, Texas, when an attractive young woman in a red dress entered the lobby. She was very pretty with blonde hair, he said. The woman smiled at him as she crossed the lobby and passed behind a column. He watched, expecting her to emerge from the other side, but a long moment passed and there was no sign of her. I jumped over the counter because I couldn't believe what I'd seen, he said. He looked behind the column, but she had vanished. Night auditor at the hotel, a stone's throw from the Alamo, John has had 10 years to experience the ghosts at the historic structure, which was the medical arts building for 5 decades. Built in 1928, the towering building's upper floors were used as the hospital, while the lower ones served as doctors' and dentists' offices. Guests who stay on the 14th floor sometimes call the front desk in the middle of the night to complain about the sounds of noisy carts rattling by their doors. The floor is carpeted, John said, pointing out that the sounds they hear may actually be echoing from a time long past, when nurses pushed gurneys and carts of medicine over the linoleum floor. I've had only a few experiences, said John, who once saw the shadowy figure of a man in a blue uniform in the hotel's restaurant's kitchen. The hair on the back of my neck stood up, he said. At the time, it was in the middle of the night, and just he and a female security guard were at work in the hotel. When John shared his encounter with her, she nodded knowingly, for she too had once seen the ghost of a man in a blue uniform in the kitchen. The apparition had smiled at him, then turned away. She followed him, not suspecting he was an ethereal being, until he melted into the air. Sometimes the clanking of pots and pans is heard in the empty kitchen, and phone calls to the front desk originate from unoccupied offices. John finds this chilling, but not as strange as an encounter that has him still shaking his head. It was 4 a.m, he said, explaining he was busy with paperwork, when he looked up to see an older man in full Catholic priest attire. "Hi, how can I help you?" asked John. "Is this hotel haunted?" asked the priest. Sensitive about not alarming guests, John cautiously asked, "Why do you ask?" "I was woken up by someone at my door," said the man. "I looked out the peephole and didn't see anyone, so I opened the door and looked into the hallway. I saw an old woman floating in the hall." "Maybe she appeared to you because she knows you are strong-hearted," said John, expressing his belief that ghosts never appear to people with weak hearts. "Maybe she had a message for you." The elderly priest smiled and walked away. As he got on the elevator, John went back to his paperwork, but an instant later he looked up and noticed something odd. The elevator wasn't moving, he said. The priest did not emerge, and the elevator remained at the lobby level. John later asked his coworkers if they knew of a priest staying at the hotel, but they had not seen the man, nor did a priest check out in the following days. Perhaps he had simply changed into street clothes, but John still finds the encounter puzzling. "I thought about it a lot," he said. "Why did he get dressed in his full priest attire at 4 a.m? And why didn't the elevator move? Was the mysterious priest a ghost?" It is interesting to note that most of the encounters John described ended with the ghost smiling. Okay, they did have 2 pictures of the hotel. There's this one. This one, my gosh, this hotel is huge. And then this one, look at that. Oh my god. It's like a big triangle, it looks like. Right on the corner. I tell you, some architects are amazing with what they come up with for the building structures that they make. So I opted to draw the priest only because I don't know if I'm going to have another priest ghost in a while, and it seemed that one was the strangest one of all. And isn't it also strange that poor John, every time he saw a ghost, it smiled at him? And what I thought was crazy, that what if this priest was a ghost? Can you imagine a ghost asking if a place is haunted, at the same time haunting the hotel or the place that they're in? That just baffles me that that could even occur. That it would be weird to think that the priest was also an apparition or a ghost themselves, thinking that they are alive and being able to interact with the alive people about another ghost, about seeing another ghost. So that's just where are they stuck? In what realm is that person stuck? That they are between the living and the deceased, that they can manifest themselves in a way that they can see both another ghost and a human live form. And that just is, I can't understand it. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that baffles me. I don't know what I would have done, and to actually think that could have been, that's just okay. I won't dwell on it anymore, but it's just perplexing to me. I don't understand at all. So we're going to make an older man who is going to be the priest. Let's see, I'm going to do his hair up here, because right here is going to be his ear. Okay. I tell you, just the point of being able to have a conversation with a ghost, not knowing, I think my this is my opinion, that if you can have a conversation with a ghost, you have to be very it seems like they when these ghosts have conversations with the living, it's always with someone who is either preoccupied with something else and don't have that fixation on that they're looking for that to happen, looking for an encounter. I've just noticed that it just seems that they tend to show themselves or interact with people who aren't really looking so much as they are. They're usually working. They're usually, because like the ones that I did from the Yellowstone, they were like busy during the day when things were busy and the workers were busy. And I'm gonna give this guy glasses. And they came to some of the employees, and it's just, and it's just like they were preoccupied, and yet still, like still aware of their surroundings and everything, but they were preoccupied because they were kind of working, actually, being busy. And so yeah, that's just my thought. I don't know if you think that would have happened, that they do that. They seem to want to manifest themselves when the person that they're manifesting themselves to is actually preoccupied with other thoughts, and aren't very, they don't realize what's in front of them until they've gone. They're not there talking to them anymore. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Because I think the weird part is, I don't know if you watch any paranormal stuff on YouTube, but I've noticed that with my theory that these ghosts, they don't really when they are looking for them, they never seem to be friendly. They never seem to be. I'm just gonna, because he was talking to the guy, so I'm gonna just make it look like he's talking. But if you ever notice, they are always having encounters where there's something thrown at them. There's the sounds that these entities are making aren't good sounds, and they're always seem to be scaring the person that they're interacting with. That's all I've noticed it. That's how I've noticed it anyway. But you have to check it out. Just check it out sometime when you're watching these things on YouTube. If the encounters, and then they always have these boxes, the spirit talkers or necrometer, whatever you want to call it. And they always have these to communicate. And to me, it's like the Ouija board, only it talks instead of slides a answer across the board. You're actually having a conversation. Now, sometimes what these spirits say don't really necessarily fit the questions that the people are asking. And are they manifesting that response? I mean, like, it's just, I don't hold anything that happens on a necrometer or a spirit talker with any credibility, because it's, to me, it's like it runs on your manifestation of what you're talking or thinking at the moment, and that's how those answers come up. But yeah, that's just my opinion, more or less. I don't know, because you can see that the people who are asking, Mark really likes to watch those programs. It's more or less they're camping. They're all young kids, and they get influenced so easily. And next thing you know, they're running out of a forest because they got scared because something on their little device said something, or something happened right after it was said, like you hear a scream in the forest or whatever. Yeah, so I don't know. Oh, anyway, here's this perplexed priest. He comes up to the desk and he's like, "Hey, is this place haunted?" Yeah, can you imagine? I can't. This one's gonna bother me for a while trying to figure it out. If you got any opinions on it, please put it in the comments. I'd really like to hear what your thoughts are on it, because you may have something that helps me understand this better. or I have some kind of theory also, or maybe you agree with me, but I don't know. These stories in these books are rather interesting, and I mean, my interaction wasn't something I saw. It was something that was felt and heard, and it was not a happy little ghost asking questions or smiling at me, believe me. But anyway, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this little interaction today and our little ghost story, and it gets you thinking. And I think there might be a few more of these hotels in there. So, and have you ever been to a hotel where you had some kind of experience? And don't you think it is funny how they never have a 13th floor if your floors, or if it's a very tall building and there's no 13th floor? That's how suspicious or superstitious people have become. And that's just, I mean, hey, to each their own. I mean, if they don't want a 13th floor out of there's still a 13th floor, no matter if you put a different number on it or not. There's still a 13th floor. Because if you say you have an 18 floor building, but you took out the 13, you're lying. There's only 17 floors. You know what I'm saying? Because you're skipping a number. So it's just like, in reality, there's a 13th floor. You're just not putting the number on it. So it's all in a matter of how you look at it. That's just my opinion. Anyway, enough of me jabbering. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you have, thank you so much for your support. And I hope you all have a great week. I know it's Monday, and it's the start of another whole week, and this month is already 11 days in. I can't understand it. It's really flying by. Thank you so much for being here. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, stay creepy, stay colorful, stay true to yourself, and stay healthy. I mean, stay tuned. I already said stay healthy, but yes, you should. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll see you there. Bye bye for now.